Hi, I'm Christina and today I'm going to show you my entire physical TBR. So I'm going to start with the books that I've added to my TBR most recently and then go backwards in time and end with the books that have been on my TBR the longest. So let's just start with all of the books that I acquired in 2022. So I have Such a Fun Age by Reid, and this one had quite a bit of buzz on BookTube a while back. It's about a black woman who is a babysitter and she takes the child that she's babysitting to a supermarket and people think that she has kidnapped this child. So interesting premise, looking forward to seeing where that one goes. And then I have Half a World Away by Gayle. Now I don't know too much about this one, but you know when you just recognise a cover. So I was in a charity shop and it was 2 for 1 and I wanted to buy Such a Fun Age, and then I thought I'm going to pick this one too. And it's about these 3 different people and they seem to be strangers living worlds apart, but they're actually all connected in some kind of way. And I love it when we have kind of different storylines and then at the end everything kind of interconnects. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one. And then I have a thriller, and that is 13 by Cavanagh. Now this is actually part of a series, and I haven't read the other books in the series, but I have heard that you can read them as standalones. So that's what I am intending to do with this one. And this one is about a serial killer, and the serial killer is actually attending the trial and he is on the jury. So yeah, I just really like the concept of that one. It sounds really interesting. And then I have Silver Sparrow by Tayari Jones, and I read An American Marriage in 2022. I really enjoyed that book, and this is one of her other books. And this is about a man who is a bigamist, and I think his 2 children meet each other for the first time, so they are sisters. So yeah, interesting premise, and I liked An American Marriage. I really liked it, so hopefully I'm going to enjoy this one just as much. And I also have a memoir, which is How to Live When You Could Be Dead by Deborah James. Now sadly she actually passed away before the publication of this book. I know that they did try to move the publication date forward, which I think they successfully did, but unfortunately it wasn't forward enough in time for her to actually see this book be published. I think this one's going to be a very moving, a very emotional kind of read. And she died of bowel cancer, and I think that's going to be something that's very close to my heart because my mother also died of bowel cancer. So I think this one's going to be very difficult to read, but I'm hoping it's going to be very rewarding too. So I definitely think I'm going to have to be in the right kind of headspace to read this book. But yeah, it's one that I definitely want to get to when the time is right. So that is that one. And then I also have After the End by Clare MacKintosh. Now I'd only kind of heard of her as an author and I'd never read anything by her, and then I saw this one in my book swap at work and I thought, yeah, I'm going to give it a go. So this one is about a couple and they have a child who is diagnosed with an illness, and it's just kind of following their story after that diagnosis. So I think again, that one's going to be also very difficult to read, probably very kind of moving. So again, probably need to be in the right kind of headspace for that one too. And then I also have Sight by Jessie Greengrass. Now the reason I got this one is I read The High House by her in 2022 and I absolutely loved it. It was so good. It was one of the best books I read last year. And it's a science fiction book, a dystopian book, and it's about climate change. So I wanted to read something else by her, and this is her debut novel. And this one I think is about motherhood and pregnancy and things like that. I haven't looked too much into it, but I think it's about having a child. And if it's anything like The High House, I think this is going to be written just absolutely beautifully. I love the way she writes. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. This one is very high priority. So then I have another thriller, and that is Under Her Care by Lucinda Berry. So this is Lucinda Berry's most recent novel. This one was published in 2022, and I think I've read 4 of her books now. I've read The Perfect Child, which was the first one I read, and I thought it was absolutely wonderful. It's very dark, it's very twisted. it's great. It's really, really good. And then I also read The Best of Friends by her, which is my absolute favourite by her. So I would highly recommend that one. And then I also read When She Returned and The Secrets of Us. So yeah, this one, I haven't even looked at the back. And you know what? I'm not going to. She's kind of an auto-buy author for me now. And I would like to, at some stage, have read all of the books that she has published. So I have that one. So then I also have The Familiars by Stacey Halls, and this is another one I got from my work book swap, and I picked this one up because I've read one of a book by Stacey Halls. I read it in 2022 and it was Mrs. England, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to picking up another one by her. So then I also have A Shot in the Dark by Lynne Truss. Now, I actually didn't choose to purchase this book. I was buying the new Richard Osman book, The Bullet That Missed, and this one came free with that purchase from W.H. Smith. So I've actually never really heard of this book, never really heard of this author, but it's a Constable Twitton mystery, and it's just a kind of classic mystery. So I have that one. Now, that one isn't high priority, I have to say. It's very, very low priority, but I have it, so here it is. And then I also have another thriller. I was in a little bit of a thriller mood, obviously. And I have The Push by Ashley Audrain. Now, similar to Lucinda Berry, I've heard that The Perfect Child and The Push are kind of explore similar themes. It's about a woman, a mother, and a baby, a child. And it's just kind of trying to unpick what's going on in that relationship. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. This one is also pretty high priority. I think that one and Sight are very high priority. So then I also have Monogamy by Sue Miller. Now I got this one similar to Half a World Away because it was on offer in a charity shop and I needed 3 for 2. So I got this one as my third one, and it was mainly the cover and the title that drew me in on this one. It's just about someone's marriage. So that is that one. Then I have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, and this one had a lot of buzz on BookTube, and it was also the winner of the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2020. Now I did try to read this one last year and I put it down, but I'm definitely wanting to pick it back up at some stage. So yeah, looking forward to reading this historical fiction novel. And then the final book I have that was purchased or required in 2022 was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now I have read and loved 3 books by her so far. I've read Carrie Soto Is Back, Malibu Rising and One True Loves. Love them all 5 stars. So very much looking forward to reading this one, and you know this is being made into a movie or a TV show. I think that comes out in March. I think it's March. So yeah, this one is also high priority. So maybe I should put these in some kind of order when I'm done of priority. So yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six, Sight, The Push, they're all high priority. So they are all of the books I've got from 2022. I obviously did acquire more books in 2022, but I have since read those. So I have a total of 14 books from 2022, and then we'll start going back in time. I actually don't think I can lift these. So those are the 14 books from 2022. Now I need to get to the next pile, and that will be all of the books from 2021. Now on to the books from 2021, the first of which is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So it's another book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. I know this is a lot of people's favourite book by her. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to reading it. And then the only other book that I purchased for myself in 2021, which I still have, is The Toll by Neal Shusterman. So this is the third and final book in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy. I definitely need to pick this up at some stage because I read Thunderhead quite a long time ago. I might even need to reread a little bit of the end of that book, just so I know where I am. But it's quite large and I haven't really been in a young adult kind of mood recently, but I have that one. And then the rest of the books from 2021 are actually Christmas presents from 2021, all from my boyfriend. So I will run through those. I have Us Against You by Fredrik Backman. So this is the second book after Beartown. Now, I love Beartown, it's one of my favourite books of all time, but I think to really appreciate and enjoy this book, I do need to reread that one. So that's something I definitely want to do. I want to make a kind of effort this year in 2023 to reread some of my favourite books. So once I've done that, I can read this one. So the next book I have is The Murders of Morley Southbourne by Tade Thompson. Now, I did actually try and read this at some stage and I just wasn't enjoying it very much. Even though it's so tiny, I put it down. So I'm going to need to pick it back up again at some point and start from the beginning. And this is about a girl who's called Morley Southbourne, and I believe that the blood that she spills will make a clone of herself. So I thought the concepts and the premise was excellent, but I wasn't really enjoying it, but I still need to read it, so that's that one. And then I also have Perfume, a story of a murderer by Patrick Süskind. And this is kind of a classic kind of book, and it's about a man who has an incredible sense of smell, and he is someone who makes perfume, and then he kind of goes down a darker kind of road. So that is that one. And then I also have an incredibly popular book, which is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And I just love the concept of this one, making a deal with the devil. And I know this is so popular. So many people adore this story. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to reading it. And then I also have a couple more Lucinda Berry books. So you saw I've still got one left on my 2022. Now I've still got two left from 2021. I have Phantom Limb by her, and I don't want to know the back of the thrillers, so I'm not going to read them. This is one of her older books, and also one of her older books is Saving Noah. So yeah, they're the two I've got by her. And then I also have the final book from 2021 is The Last Story of Mina Lee by Nancy Yuhun Kim. This one was a Reese's book club pick, and it's kind of like just about a family, like a nice contemporary novel. So yeah, let me get all of those books together from 2021. So that was a total of 9 books from 2021, and I had 14 books from 2022, so that is 23 books total. Now I just need to get my pile from 2020. Okay, so moving into books from 2020, the first I have is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, and this one was a gift from Kirsten over at Reading Nymph, who I will link down below. And I know this is a very popular young adult mystery, so yeah, when I'm back in a young adult mood, I'll definitely read this one, and I'll definitely read The Toll. And then I have Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield. Now I did try and read this book and I wasn't really enjoying it and I put it down, but I did read The 13th Tale by her and I absolutely loved it. It was one of the best books I read in 2020, but I just don't think this one is maybe for me. It's kind of magical realism, but I definitely want to give it another go, so I've still got it. And then I have The Farm by Joanne Ramos, and this one is a kind of science fiction dystopian novel, and it's about women who are surrogates and kind of on a farm kind of setting. So yeah, looking forward to reading that one. And then I have quite a few Fredrik Backman books. So I think they were on offer when I was looking at purchasing some books, so I've got 3 of them. So I have My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologies, and I have Britt Marie Was Here, and I know these two are kind of around the same person. And then I also have A Man Called Ove, and I did try and read this at some stage again. I wasn't really in the mood for it and I put it down. It was all a bit bleak and I don't think I was in the mood for bleak. So yeah, I've got 3 Fredrik Backman books here, and like I said before, Beartown is one of my favourite books of all time, and he wrote that one, and I obviously have the sequel over there from the other pile. Now I have 2 books that I'm not sure, if I'm being completely honest, if I'm ever going to read them, but I do still have them, and that is The City of Mirrors and The 12, both by Justin Cronin. And I read The Passage, which is the first book in this series, back when I first started BookTube. It was my very first ever video. So if you're interested in seeing that, I will link it down below. And I bought the whole set after reading it from the library. because I was convinced I was going to keep reading it, and then I got distracted by other books and I didn't pick it back up, and now it's been 3 years. So I still have these two. Whether I will actually eventually finish this series, it remains to be seen, but I have them and they're on my physical TBR, so here they are. Then I have Blood Orange by Harriet Tice, and this one is a thriller, and I picked this one up for free. I've not heard great things about it, so I've not actually picked it up, but we will see. I think it's maybe a little bit of a bog standard kind of thriller, so maybe at some stage I'll pick it up. It's not high priority, if we're all being honest with ourselves. And then I also have The Night Tiger by Yangtze Chu, and again I got this one for free, and again it's not really high priority, but it's a fantasy kind of novel. So let me just get all those books together. So from 2020 I have a total of 10 books that I haven't read yet. So what was I on before? It was 14 and 9, which is 23, 10, 33. So we're at a total of 33 books. Now I have one final pile, and that one is all books from before 2020. I don't really have a record of when I acquired these. I just know for a fact it was before 2020. So we're leaving it that. But I have tried to order them kind of in my head from what I think, you know, are the oldest. So let's get that pile. So here is the final pile, the ones from pre-2020. So like 2019, 2018, some definitely older than that. So I have The Night Fire by Michael Connelly, and this is one of the Harry Bosch series of books. And I used to very much enjoy these books. I was very much obsessed with them. I think I've read over 20 of them. I very much avidly read every single book as they came out. But then I kind of moved away from crime fiction, and I just discovered so many other types of genres and so many other types of books that this kind of series has kind of fallen by the wayside. And I think there's been some more books in this series that I haven't even picked up because I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck here. So I'm not sure when or if I'm going to read this one, but I do still have it just in case I want to dip back into this series at any stage. I have that one. And then I have The Dinner Party by R.J. Parker. Don't think I've heard much about this. It's not massively high priority, as you can see. It was in a deal. I think I really wanted to read the other books in the deal, the other two, and this one is just kind of still here. Again, I don't think any of these are high priority, probably, but I still have them. There's a reason they're from pre-2020 and I still haven't read them, let's just put it that way. So there's that one. And then I have The Puppet Show by M.W. Craven. Now I actually did a video recently where I read the first paragraph, and this was one of them, and it started really, really well. So this one's kind of been bumped up the priorities. It's a kind of thriller book, and yeah, I'm probably going to pick this one up sooner than all of the other ones here. And then I also have The Holiday by T.M. Logan, another kind of thriller. Picked this one up very cheaply from a charity shop. Not really high priority. And then I have The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. So I really liked The Turn of the Key by her. There's been a couple of others of her book that I didn't really enjoy and I've DNF'd them, but I've heard this one's a good one, so I have this one. And now on to the final two books that have been on my TBR the absolute longest. So if you've got any kind of guesses, bets on what you think they are, put it down in the comments, and just be interesting to see. They are two classics. So we have Persuasion by Jane Austen. Now I love Jane Austen and she's probably my favourite classic author, and I have been keeping this book for years just for when I'm back in the mood to start reading classics again. And to be honest, it's not happened for a very, very long time, but this is the one that I was most excited to read next, kind of in the whole kind of classic genre. And so that's why I have this one, and I found this beautiful edition in a charity shop. So yes, this one has been on my TBR for a very long time, but not as long as this final one, and that is The Idiot by Dostoevsky. And this one has been on my TBR for years and years and years, maybe a decade, or I don't know. Actually, I could see when this was published, couldn't I? That would be a really good idea. Well, I mean, this edition was published 2010? 2010, so 13 years. So yeah, 13 years, wow. And this one's probably been, let's find out. When was this one done? 2003. Oh, this edition publishes in 2011. So that one has been 12 years. So yes, this is the oldest. This has been 13 years and this one's been 12 years. But also I got it from a charity shop, so it might have been about 10 years, shall we say. But yes, these are the TBR veterans for me. I have tried to read this book numerous times at this stage. I've read a few chapters of it and I needed a dictionary beside me the whole time. But at some stage I am going to read this book. So yes, let's have a look at all the books from pre-2020. So all of the books from pre-2020, I have a total of 7. So I had 33, add 7 is 40. So I have a total of 40 books on my physical TBR. Now I'm not going to try and hold all of these books in one go because it's just going to be a really bad idea. So I don't know what I'm going to do for the thumbnail either. But yeah, if you have read any of these books, I would love to know your comments down below. Please tell me, which ones do you think I should prioritise? If there's any here that are just absolutely jumping out at you, that they were just wonderful, wonderful books, please let me know which ones they are. I'm obviously going to try and read them all at some stage. Some are obviously much more high priority than others. And now that I've actually split this up into when I acquired these books, and I've done it, you know, by year 2022, 2021, 2020, pre-2020, it'll be interesting to try and tackle my TBR in that way. I think I've very much been quite good at reading books that I've brought in 2022 and reading them in 2022. So I do want to keep focusing on the 2022, 2021 ones, but still, yeah, a lot from 2020 I want to get to as well. So yeah, if you've got any favourites that I've mentioned, please let me know and I will definitely try and prioritise them. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video if you've liked it, and please do subscribe if you'd like to see more of me talking about books, and if you'd like to see my thoughts on any of these, because they will be coming one day. So yeah, see you on my next one. Bye.